everybody. Welcome to the Drew Grimaldi podcast. Let me see here. We have quite the show for you here today. As we do, we have an awesome show for you today. A lot of crazy videos, a lot of stuff going on in the world. Wanted to show you my new Bible I got. Check this out. It's the presidential version. Can't really see it with this. Okay, but it's the presidential version of the God Bless the USA Bible. It's actually pretty awesome. Really easy to read. All the above. But yeah, it's awesome. It's been like I said, really easy to read. So decided to start it over again and read it from cover to cover, along with the Constitution and Declaration of Independence and all of that. So I thought that was pretty cool. They add that stuff in there because our country was founded on these Christian values, and everything from separation of church and state. That's not the Constitution, but we want the Christians to be able to openly praise and openly do their religion. And that was the whole idea of that. But continuing on, this week's kind of a random video dump, but we got a bunch of interesting ones that might get your blood boiling and it might get you laughing a little bit too. So this one here is Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent talking about the Somalis, the Somali issue that we have going on. And it's pretty funny, actually, but check this one out here. See if we can check this out.
Somalis got caught bribing the jury.
One of the Somali fraudsters tried to bribe a juror with $120,000. What turned out, she'd been given $200,000 to bribe the juror, and she skimmed $80,000.
Like, they're such fraudsters that it's just crazy to me. And I wanted to point this out because I found this video, and this is the one that I said that will probably get your blood boiling a little bit here. But this is a Somali fellow just talking shit to the American people because he knows that the fraud's real. Check it out.
You work all fucking day. You don't got shit. Thank you for working so hard so I can be home all day. Free. I can use my EBT. Go to work for me, white boy. White girl. Yeah. Go to work for me, you fucking white animals. Fucking work for me. Yeah, you fucking work for me. And the U.S. government they work for me. All of you work for me. Now go to work. Pay them taxes. Take care of me and my people. Alright? This is my land. I control this place. This is my reality. You all gonna be enchained. I'm gonna lock all you guys up if you don't pay your taxes. You work all fucking day. You don't got shit.
I mean, this is real stuff here, guys, and like, these people actually feel this way. Like, they fucking think that they're owed something. These people act like they're constantly owed something, and they're not. Get your fucking ass to work. Why are we paying taxes so that people like that can live for free? That's the fraud. And first of all, what type of shit vetting did the Biden administration do that brought all these people here and gave them temporary protective status, which, by the way, President Trump just ended, thank God. He's also looking into denaturalizing people that committed fraud to become U.S. citizens legally. So we're looking forward to that because we know Ilhan Omar was one of those people that cheated the system, and she's as arrogant as they come. And I got a video on here that'll set you back some, just to show you how arrogant they are when it comes to the fraud. When it comes to the fraud, these Somalis go, "You're not supposed to be here. You're not allowed to be here." Okay, well, first of all, it's like public property. Don't tell me I'm not supposed to be here. It's private property. Don't tell me. And then they say, you got to leave. You got to leave. No, it's public property. Like, what are you talking about? But they just harass. And then they start going, you're a racist. You're spreading lies. No, dude, we caught you guys. You guys got caught keeping this thing where you were thinking like that, dude, and you thought that that gravy train wasn't going to stop as long as Governor Walz and the Democrats weren't going to prosecute you in the state of Minnesota. But here is a video of a reporter being attacked by a Somali crowd. And it's pretty wild. I mean, it's just wild that we're getting to this, that the Somalis are, and the illegals out there are just this obnoxious. Like, you're not supposed to be here. Why are you so, like, have the audacity to tell us what we're going to do? Get your ass to work. If you're not going to work, get the fuck, go back home. But check this out.
I was just going to ask a couple questions about home health care for somebody in their 90s.
We're not ready to answer questions.
Okay. You're not taking patients?
No, we are taking patients.
Okay. All right.
It's
So
good to go.
okay. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
What are you guys doing here?
Asking about home health care.
I know you.
I don't think you know me.
Yeah, I know you.
Okay. I'm Mahek.
No, I'm not gonna shake hands.
That's okay. That's fine.
You can record whatever you want.
Oh, I know. We're recording because I was
Because I
assaulted.
know you are just spreading a lot of bunch of BS.
What's the BS?
You're talking about Somalis. I've seen it so many times in Fox News.
I've spoken about the issue in Minnesota, or Minneapolis in particular.
Listen.
I'm listening.
Listen.
I'm listening.
You are from India. You are not a white person.
I wasn't trying
Listen.
to pretend I was.
Listen. Get out of our house. You're not supposed to be here.
This isn't private property.
This is a
At
private
least
property.
It's not.
It's a private property.
I'm knocking
private
on doors
office.
to
Like,
ask.
we've got every right to be here.
No, you don't have every right to be here.
We have every right to
Why
be
are you guys
here.
spreading lies?
Wait.
We're not spreading any
Hold on one
lies.
second.
Yeah,
Can I speak?
you guys
No,
are
you
not
can't.
supposed to be here.
Because,
If you're
because
gonna-
your last name is Cook doesn't mean that you're white. You are from India, and you are just spreading a lot of bunch of BS.
It's not a
Who do you
bunch
think
of
you are?
BS. Who do you think you
Who
are?
do you think you are?
Who do you think you are,
Standing here
you?
telling me that I can't ask.
Why are you coming to harass us? Why are you coming to harass
We're
us?
not coming to
Why are you coming to harass us? We're not harassing
You
you.
guys
You guys
looking
really
for,
can't ask
you guys can
questions.
go
You
department
have to
of
listen.
I would have kept my cool. I would have
and then
not
you
let
guys
it walk
ask
down
them
these
how this
Who gives
operated.
you the truth? Who has
You have no right to be here. You gotta leave
We
right
have
now.
every right to be here.
No, you don't have
No,
no
you're
right
not-
to be
We have every right to be
There's
here.
no ticket to harass. You said
You are harassing
we have
people.
no.
We're not harassing anyone.
You're just running around. You just go.
Just knock on the
spread
door.
a
You guys
lot
are
of-
the ones
why-
yelling at
why
us.
are you-
We're
why are you
simply
knocking
asking questions, and then you guys are trying to intimidate us.
You guys are healthcare
You-
companies.
you-
What you're doing is wrong. I do.
You guys are trying to intimidate us right now.
You guys came to our
You
office.
said
You guys
you
came to
didn't
our
want
office.
to
No, that's fine. You can ask questions, but who you
You
want
guys
to
are you guys are trying to intimidate us. You're telling us we're not allowed to be
You guys are
here.
here to intimidate us.
Why do all of you have your phones out right now?
Yeah, because we wondered.
Why do you have to speak on
For safety, for my own safety.
for our own safety too?
No,
That's all
you
right.
can record it.
You guys have no right to be here. You guys gotta leave right
Spread
now.
a bunch of BS. You need to leave.
You need to leave right now.
Move away.
Those guys
Move away.
They're here to harass
Move
us.
away. Because your last name is Cook does not mean that you're white.
Look, we're peacefully here.
These ladies that spread a lot of BS about Somalis.
That's not true. You know
Get the
that.
fucking Somalis out of here. Literally, send every single one of them home. I mean, what the fuck is this crap that we are dealing with these fucking animals that think that they own us? Like, the fraud is so bad in Minneapolis that it's just crazy to me that Tim Walz he dropped out of the for trying to try to get reelected. He dropped out for reelection for the governor because he knew that this was not going away. But the other thing with that is that Tim Walz might not make it to the end of his term because of this. They just wrote up articles of impeachment when you have billions of dollars. Literally, the entire economy of Somalia was being funded by pretty much Minnesota and the fraud from U.S. taxpayers, not just Minnesotans. But when you hear Tim Walz out there saying, if you see ICE out there, get out your phones and videotape the atrocities of ICE. The word atrocities, he knew exactly what he was saying. When you use the word atrocities, you talk about the slaughter of the Jews in the Holocaust. That was an atrocity. What ICE is doing is sending these fucking people back to the country that they originated from because they weren't supposed to be here to begin with. And none of this would have been necessary had the previous administration and Democrats actually just followed the laws and enforced the laws that were already on the books. And the fact of the matter is to all these people protesting ICE, if you don't like what the laws are, run for office. See if your thoughts have any traction. If they don't, fucking shut the hell up, because they're probably bad ideas. But I digress. So here's an old video of our good friend Barack Obama, President Obama. Everything that happened there didn't quite work out the way it was intended. But check this out.
Deportations on average a day. People are wondering, and our Twitter feeds and Facebook feeds, that's the question everybody asks. Won't you at least consider unilaterally freezing deportations for the parents of deferred action kids?
Yeah. Here's the problem that I have, Jose, and I've said this consistently. My job in the executive branch is supposed to be to carry out the laws that are passed. Congress has said, here's the law when it comes to those who are undocumented, and they allocate a whole bunch of money for enforcement. And what I have been able to do is to make a legal argument that I think is absolutely right, which is that given the resources we have, we can't do everything that Congress has asked us to do. What we can do is then carve out the DREAM Act folks, saying young people who have basically grown up here are Americans that we should welcome. We're not going to have them operate under a cloud, under a shadow. But if we start broadening that, then essentially I would be ignoring the law in a way that I think would be very difficult to defend legally. So that's not an option.
So there's Barack Obama saying exactly it. Like, it'd be difficult to defend legally. Like, everything Joe Biden did. Everything. Like, so that's Obama talking about ICE, about how they're not going to expand it. The people that aren't supposed to be here gotta go. They gotta go. So there was, and I played it in the either last week or the week before, Renee Good, and the whole thing with her being killed tragically by an ICE officer when she, I think, kind of panicked, gunned it, and ended up running over a police officer and getting shot because of doing that. And I think it goes to say, like, listen, the Democrat Party ruins people's lives. If it starts out at childhood, when they say, oh, your kid, we don't know what gender it is. Maybe your kid's, it was born a boy, but maybe it identifies as a girl because it seems to like pink books. And then they start this gender transition that they don't even tell the parents about. And then they transition away from God. They want the Sharia law and Muslims, because we've seen how well that's worked out in the past. And then as you get older and into it, then they start talking about using inflammatory language to try to get women, lonely women, miserable women that don't particularly believe in God, and they're so progressive and so feminist, and they're sort of just out there, and now they're encouraging them to get in front of law enforcement and to attack law enforcement and harass law enforcement. And I don't see how any of that ends up working out for them. But that's what they're running on right now. And it kind of seems like the Democrat Party is on fumes. But the last time Trump was president, there was the George Floyd riots. And they're trying to make this Renee Good thing George Floyd. Again, 2.0. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make this Renee Good thing that. Exactly. Check this out.
Trying to defend ourselves. Line of cowards to me. Line them up on a mirror. Snort it up, because we got some cowards. Cowards. Cowards.
And here they're just protecting the federal buildings because these people are just rioting and stuff. This is all in Minnesota.
You're a coward! You're a coward! We're a bunch of civilians and you have riot gear and guns. Let that set in! You're in riot gear with guns and we're civilians. Let that set in! You're about to do a war crime because you guys don't care about democracy and freedom. You care about control, which makes you a bunch of teeny tiny micro-penis.
But this is what law enforcement has had to put up with. And it's crazy because look at these losers on this side. They don't have jobs. They don't have anything. And they are just being encouraged to go harass ICE and law enforcement. And it's like she ran him over with a vehicle. Vehicles can be weapons. We see it all the time with Muslims driving trucks through fucking crowds of people. So they can be used at it. This ICE agent in this video is assaulted 4 times trying to make one arrest. Check this one out. And it's disgusting, again, that we even need to check this. So it's like crazy, right? Because like what they're having to do is it's not just them trying to get their people, it's and the criminal. It's them against all these other people trying to get these criminals free. This is what ICE is having to deal with right now. They have the hardest job on the planet. And honestly, I don't know if I would have enough patience to deal with these fucking idiots. They need to go home if they have one. And they need to fucking start reading the Bible. That's what they need to do. But I thought this was a nice one here because Democrats kept saying for years, oh, they're separating the kids from their parents. Well, now we're separating the kids with the parents. And here's ICE deporting a family.
You got kids. What are you taking kids for? What are you taking kids for? Those are kids.
You trying to separate them, bud? What are you doing? Make up your mind, you fucking losers.
You're taking kids. What are you doing? You got kids.
It's kind of weird, too. Like, when your entire platform is, hey, show up here with a whistle and just whistle a lot. Like, these Democrats, they obstruct, they cause chaos, and all of this. ICE would not need to be in Minnesota if Governor Walz had his finger on what was actually going on there. And if he does, then he's absolutely a criminal. And he should be arrested and persecuted to the highest extent of the law. Now, we all know that during the Biden administration, DEI was all about it, right? And people always try to attack Charlie Kirk, talking about his black pilot, right? He said something along the lines of like, I don't want to have to get on a plane and think, oh, is this guy actually have the skills to actually do this job? Because when you sit there and you go, oh, well, we're just going to hire people because they're XYZ, they're black, they're white, they're this, they're that. You're not getting the best talent. That was his point. If you're going to pass up somebody who's qualified for the job for somebody who's might be qualified for the job but doesn't have quite as many credentials, you're passing up the better person for the job. And that was what his point was there. But of course the left spun it and they tried to say that. But we cannot say that that Ketanji Brown Jackson was put on the Supreme Court by Autopen Joe Biden. And she has got to be the most incompetent, worst justice that there is. Every time she asks a question or even her points, like she's just not quite Supreme Court level. And here they're debating about men and women's sports, which this 20 years ago, if you would have said that this was going to end up in front of the Supreme Court, people would have said you're nuts. This is not a question. I mean, there is a biological difference between men and women, and men in women's sports have a greater advantage because of their physical attributes. Now, that being said, what just drives me insane is that Democrats are constantly talking about men and women's sports. Why don't you just start a co-ed league? Fine. Men and women can play in the thing. And you know what? Men are going to end up dominating that too. But at least you'd have a spot for these transgender freaks that want to come out and play when they're not as good anymore. But this year is Ketanji Brown Jackson and her Supreme Court.
Overarching classification, everybody has to be play on the team that is the same as their sex at birth. But then you have a gender identity definition that is operating within that, meaning a distinction.
Gender identity?
Meaning that
forget gender identity. Nobody cares about gender identity.
Cisgender girls,
what the fuck does that mean?
They can play consistent with their gender identity. For transgender girls, they can't.
Cis means normal, I guess.
Okay. So as to the part about your ability to pass over from boy to girl,
yes,
you can go from one way but not the other. I want to be clear that BBJ is not challenging that specific classification. I think that's important to start with. But I think, if anything, that's useful evidence as to the lack of a transgender-based discrimination, because if the legislature were just sort of unsettled by the notion of transgender athletes, I think the answer would have been to then bar them from passing over in any way consistent with their gender.
I appreciate that. I guess I was getting at the what I understood the Chief Justice to be trying to discuss, which was this notion that this is really just about the definition of who we accept that you can separate boys and girls, and we are now looking at the definition of a girl, and we're saying only people who were girl assigned at birth qualify.
And
yeah, because there's a biological difference, honey. I mean, you can just tell that these people are out there. Like, if you're born a man, if you have a penis, doesn't matter what you dress up like, doesn't matter what you identify as, you're a man. Period. Like, the fact that we have to define, gender, and then there's gender identity. These people make it up as they go. And it's like, my gender identity, get your pronouns out of your profile. Nobody gives a shit about your pronouns. And if you're offended by a pronoun, like, somebody misgendering you or something, maybe dress more masculine or feminine. The point of the matter isn't the point of these freaks is to actually pass as whatever they're doing. So like if I don't know, if I have to misgender you, you're probably not doing a very good job. But I digress. And we'll come back to that. Like I said, I'm not, videos are kind of all over the place today. But here is Democrat propaganda on ICE. Check this out. I mean, it's just more of the same from these crazy libs, but check this out. This is Minneapolis, Minnesota.
This ICE, they're the real murderers. I mean, we don't have nothing to fend with. We don't have guns. They have the law protecting them. What do we have? What are they scared of? Why are they killing people? Why are they shooting people? We have nothing to fend with.
My message is what brought you out here tonight? Are you part of one of the community?
Because it's another person shot. They're killing people. They're killing people. They're killing my people just because of their skin color. Even if we're citizens, they don't care. They're fucking racist. Real criminals.
ICE has not arrested and accidentally deported a single U.S. citizen that was supposed to be here. But they say it like it is. They're arresting U.S. citizens. No, Abrego, Kilmar, or whatever the fuck his name is, Garcia, was not an American citizen. He was not an American citizen. So again, we have these things where you get these people saying these things and inciting violence and inciting all these riots and all of this, and people are legitimately misinformed about it. And if you were legitimately fearing for your life in this matter, people do crazy things. It's very dangerous. But to think that they're deporting U.S. citizens, they're not. They're not. In fact, if you look at the list of the people that ICE is deporting, child sex offenders. One of the guys was wanted for sodomy of a young kid, boy and girl. I mean, these people are sick. And Biden just let them on in. Come on in. You're a minor attracted person. You're a MAP or a MIP or whatever they call them. No, he's a pedophile. He should be in jail and he should be absolutely taken out, in my opinion. There should be a death penalty for anybody that touches a child. If you touch an innocent child, that should be it for you. That's my personal opinion. You should go see your maker, and he'll decide what he wants to do with you. But yeah, so ICE is still doing their job despite being attacked. This one here, video by Nick Sorter. But yeah, they're still out there. They're still doing their job.
You want you to parking lot at Target? Get pictures of their face! Man! We will find them! Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame! 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 How do you sleep at night?
Look at these freaks.
Shame!
Absolute chaos. Isn't that all the mob just fucking... They're just trying to get out of there. Absolute chaos.
Stop blocking our car!
Well, if you've had enough of that, because I have, the whistle's driving me fucking crazy. But they create the chaos. And then the fact of the matter is that Democrats go out and they mob. But they didn't do this during Obama. Why? Well, because the media wasn't telling them that they were arresting American citizens, even though that's not true. And they didn't have all these people saying how just terrible this was and how terrible these people are. And that's the difference, is that when you have the media demonize somebody like they have Trump, like they have Justice Kavanaugh, or any of these people that are out there speaking the truth to power, which is what it is. These people are nuts. They think their opinions matter, and really they do not, because at the end of the day, the adults in the room just go, okay. But back to the point, why is this happening now? Why do people care now? They didn't care under Obama. Well, for one, like I just said, the media wasn't demonizing this, but you also didn't have the mayor and the governor going, go out there and tape their atrocities. People back then, and when I was in school and high school and stuff like that, that would have been considered disqualifying. People would have lost an election for something like that. And that's why Tim Walz did, in fact, drop out. But his insightful and inflammatory language towards all of this has been insane. Let me see if I can find a video quick here of Tim Walz. But he uses this word atrocities. And it's just, here it is. Check this out.
Tonight, I want to share another way you can help. Witness. Help us establish a record of exactly what's happening in our communities. You have an absolute right to peacefully film ICE agents as they conduct these activities. So carry your phone with you at all times. And if you see these ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record. Help us create a database of the atrocities against Minnesota.
Atrocities.
Not
What
just
the
to establish a record for posterity, but to bank evidence for future prosecution. Tonight, I want to share another way.
He's threatening law enforcement, doing their job.
Tonight, I want to share another way you can help.
I mean, this guy is a criminal, and he is now being investigated. He is now being investigated by the Department of Justice for, which totally makes sense. I mean, they just do this shit. And the thing is why is it exactly?
Tells
Check
me
this.
that Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and the Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey are both being investigated by the Justice Department. And a grand jury has issued subpoenas for both of them, though it doesn't appear that either have been served yet. What we do know tonight as we come on the air is that the Justice Department investigation centers on possible obstruction of federal law enforcement. Both the FBI Director Kash Patel and the Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche were in Minneapolis today. And just a short time ago, Todd Blanche was on Fox News explaining or attempting to explain why the Justice Department is taking this action.
When the governor or the mayor threaten our officers, when the mayor suggests that he's encouraging citizens to call 911 when they see ICE officers, that is very close to a federal crime.
A person familiar tells me that Minnesota Governor Tim Walz.
So it's over. I mean, his little fun ride there is done officially. The whole thing with him running for vice president and all of that. And the fact is, too, is that I guess Kamala, I don't like to say her name right, Kamala, that she actually knew this. She knew that this was going on and thought that might help her win some more votes. Pretty crazy stuff. Corrupt to the core. But I think the American people are sick of that shit. And it's funny when you say, like, oh, Donald Trump's corrupt. Come on. Somebody who's corrupt doesn't make their government smaller. Dictators do not make their government smaller. But I digress. Here is a Christian preacher being attacked by Muslims while he's handing out Bibles. Check this out.
You're a terrorist. You terrorist.
Where's your peace?
Terrorist?
Come fight, you fucker! Come fight! You fucker, come! You wanna fight?
God's gonna burn you in hell, you child of the devil.
But yeah, he was attacked handing out Bibles because that's the type of people that we're fighting against right now. When I say that this is good versus evil, it really is. And if you pray on it, you'll see that. when you have people that are misguiding the youth and all of this, it's terrible. Or when people are against freedom. Democrats want to bring Sharia law to the United States. This is what's happening in Iran right now because the dictator is running. Women are taking their masks off and showing their hair out in public. So they're all about freedom, and freedom's coming. But here is another video of Barack Obama talking about immigrants while he was president. Check this one out. This is another video.
We are a nation of immigrants. We're also a nation of laws. Undocumented workers broke our immigration laws, and I believe that they must be held accountable, especially those who may be dangerous. If you're a criminal, you'll be deported. If you plan to enter the U.S. illegally, your chances of getting caught and sent back just went up. The actions I'm taking are not only lawful, they're the kinds of actions taken by every single Republican president and every single Democratic president for the past half century.
Correct. Correct. It is. And now there's a problem with it. Okay. Here's the Seattle mayor saying that they should not be looking into Somali fraud. Again, why would we not be looking into this? These people are crazy.
The fear in the Somali community is real. The fear in immigrant communities are real, so we're taking that very seriously.
Along those lines, have you asked anyone to follow up on the fraud claims either to the Department of Immigrant and Refugee Affairs or SPD?
No.
So there's, as far as you're concerned right now, there's no reason to suggest there's any sort of fraud.
This whole issue is not really about fraud, right? It's about dividing and conquering. It's about making an immigrant community a target, right? There's no reason to assume based on the identity of a daycare operator that their small business is doing anything wrong. I think the fear in the Somali community.
Other than alcohol fetal syndrome that she suffers there, clearly. Her and Greta Thunberg. But can you believe that? No, I think it's there's a lot of fear in the Somali community. So have you looked into the fraud at all? No. Okay. So are you complicit or what the fuck? Because that's taxpayer money. I mean, why would you not be interested in the truth? That's what I'm curious. But Democrats lie like they breathe. Here's a woman who blocked ice and magically she had a doctor's appointment. She had all these things because she knew people were taping. Check this out. Oh, magically I'm just going somewhere. Check it.
I am disabled! I have a brain injury!
Stay back!
I am autistic and I have a brain injury! Put me down! I was just trying to get to the doctor and I'm autistic! I want to move my car!
Yeah, okay, lady. Sure you were. You're blocking ICE agents. So, I digress. They lie like they breathe. Here's a Somali mob. Okay, this video gets even crazier. I've showed you these videos of the Somalis just mobbing these ICE agents. Well, here's another one. And they just, they gang up on them and, let's find it. Why is that dude wearing a dress? So, I mean, it's just crazy because, like, these ICE agents, they're battling so many people that just shouldn't be there. They need to just mind their own business. Like, it's just crazy, you know? Go get in their faces. Go do that. I'm sure that'll turn out really well for you. And it's always these angry, mentally ill people that the Democrats prey on. Telling me that Renee Good was not mentally ill. I mean, come on. You could just look in her eyes and you knew that there was something not right. It's just crazy to me that the Democrats, they're not interested in investigating the fraud because they're in on it. They're making money on it. All the money gets flooded back into the Democrat Party, and so they're okay with it. Well, here's another one here too, where there's a ton of fraud on Snap. Check this shit out, dude. This is nuts.
Sent us their data to help figure out what that looked like. We found 200,000 dead people, or people using dead people's social security numbers. We found 500,000 people getting more than 2 times what they should have, getting those benefits twice. We found some guy getting benefits in 5 states. And Maria, this is just the red states. I mean, the red states normally have a smaller program, tighter accountability and control. The blue states sued us, and so we're in another active litigation on that. They don't want California, New York, they don't want to turn their data over so that we can help them root out the fraud. And then the Minnesota piece, of course, which we've all been covering, is remarkable. Yeah. So we are in court. We're going to work really hard to make sure we're protecting the American taxpayer and the people who actually need these programs. All the red states.
See, what I don't understand is why you wouldn't just be like, you know what? Just go check. Go ahead. Look all you want. There's none. Show them there's none and then move on. But instead, it's like they obstruct. Nope, you're not going to look. You're not going to see anything. Nope, nope, nope. This one cracks me up. Here is an ICE agent or an ICE protester who gets triggered because they were misgendered. Check this out.
I think he's being kind of aggressive, actually.
She!
You can leave.
Get the fuck out of my face!
Okay, turn that on. I think the problem arises when we have females that don't want to play sports against males, and after their objection, the males are still put on the team anyway.
We're not men. We're not males.
But you guys separate sex and gender, don't you?
Yes, of course.
So then you'd have to acknowledge that you're male? And
No,
then
I will never acknowledge that. Never put those words in my mouth.
male? Why?
Never put it in my mouth.
Well, I'm not putting it. I'm putting it in my mouth.
Take it out.
Just remember.
I
you're
am
being
not
recorded,
male.
Yeah, you're being
I am
recorded,
not. I don't give a
and being
fuck.
baited.
I am not male. I am a woman.
Can I ask you what makes you a woman?
My mind. Even implying that I'm male is an insult, and it spits in my face and that of every other trans person in this place.
So I would argue that I think women would find it insulting that male people can say that they're women by flipping their ding dong off and getting facial surgery. I think you're being very rude.
Yeah,
I think I'm being very kind. I think he's being kind of aggressive.
I think you're being
actually.
rude.
You can leave.
Get the fuck out of my face.
Okay, turn that off.
Leave.
Have a good time.
Piss off.
I just want you to understand how calm I've been this entire time and how terrible your husband is here.
I am her wife, you worthless shrew. Get out of my face.
God, what a freak.
There you go.
So she handled it very well. Not an ICE agent, but Turning Point. I misspoke on that one. I got one more video for you. Last night, I'm actually going to show some videos before this. So we have had some videos on here before of our friend Shri Sanadar. This guy is a weirdo. And everybody's kind of like, how did he get elected? But look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Must, finally, we must reform ICE. But it looks at this stage, folks, ICE is beyond reform. ICE is totally out of control. And this week, I intend to introduce a bill to abolish ICE. We need to make ICE go away. 2003, before 2003, without ICE, various federal agencies were able to take care of business, and we can do this without ICE. But we do not need the murderers. We do not need these paramilitary organizations, members on our street terrorizing us. And
he's a fucking liar and just a piece of shit for even saying that. Well, this fucking weirdo went on Hannity last night and he got absolutely destroyed for using that disgusting and inflammatory language.
That's not what you said. Sir, you voted against the bill that mandated the deportation of illegals convicted of sex crimes. Do you regret that vote now?
No, I don't regret that vote. Look, no bill is perfect, and many times...
What if it was your wife, your sister, your daughter that was raped? That's a sex crime. You want that person to stay?
Look, there are multiple things in a bill. I don't agree with every one of them.
Sir, you got to answer the question. If your wife, your daughter, your girlfriend, mother was raped by an illegal immigrant, you voted against the bill that would deport these illegals convicted of sex crimes. You're perfectly fine if they stay in the country.
Sean, look, I serve in Congress. I don't think you ever served in Congress. That's what you voted on, though, right? Most of the bills. Look,
Why
most
did
of
you
these
vote
bills
for that?
are not perfect bills.
Why did you vote for that? Why would you allow sex crime convicts to stay in the country that entered the country illegally? Why would you vote for that?
It was not, the bill did not just include that issue. There were other things in the bill, and so I cannot pick and choose. I don't have a veto where I can strike out one portion of a bill.
You would have voted against it otherwise? What was the big provision that prevented you from kicking these people out of our country?
Look, I don't memorize. I vote on thousands of bills.
I don't memorize. You don't know anything.
But look, I do believe that such criminals must be deported. There is no doubt about it.
Well, you voted against it, so obviously you don't.
Fucking wild. And then at the end of the interview, he again calls ICE murderers. It's this inflammatory language like that, right? He calls them murderers. They have the mayor, Frey, who has just been one of those people, too, who's just been inciting this violence. But listen to this.
Imagine if that city or that town was suddenly invaded by thousands of federal agents that do not share the values that you hold dear.
Fraud.
Imagine if your daily routines were disrupted. The local cafe that you eat at was shut down because they're scared that their own family might get torn apart. Imagine if schools shut down and suddenly parents got to figure out what to do for daycare. Imagine if that city...
Oh, I imagine. But this guy, he does this shit, right? And they just lie. They lie on every bit of it. Like this guy, hang on. I'm trying to find one more instance for that. But this is that same guy. Look at this. This is that same guy, same mayor, kneeling and crying at George Floyd's funeral in front of his gold casket.
No matter what may come my way, my life is in your hands. You don't have to worry.
I'm just going to leave it there because I've never seen a real man cry before unless it's his mother's funeral. It's just crazy to me that there's even a party like that in the United States that is so dishonest, and their constituents and their base encourage it. They encourage this gaslighting because they can't actually accept reality, because reality is that Democrats sent inflation and everything else up to a 40-year high with gasoline, and that with all their bullshit climate change stuff and all of that. But that's all I have for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Keep the faith. God bless all of you, and we'll see you next week, 11 a.m. on Saturday. Thanks so much for watching.